Do you smell that? That's not your coworker's lunch. And it's not John Stankey, CEO of AT&T. That's innovation. No, I'm just kidding. It's Steve from Accounting's Bare Feet. Welcome to 2025's hottest office perk, taking your shoes off. And with RTO massively failing, companies are doing more and more to try and get you back to the office. So startups all around are calling this return to work reinvented. Shoes off, culture on. Workplace culture can shift with small actions. A relaxed shoeless Friday can spark creativity, friendliness, and a whole bunch of Febreze. Oh, it says connection. It can also influence how candidates perceive your culture when deciding where to work. Only 4% of employers still enforce strict dress codes, and 61% of employees say they feel productive when attire is relaxed. But it's still on, it's just relaxed. A small perk like this says we're flexible, we're listening, and we're open to new ways of working. I think the hashtags are going a bit far on this. Hashtag servant leadership, because you can take your shoes off. Hashtag return to work, because you can take your shoes off. Hashtag future of work, no. And then hashtag leadership. How? Explain this, Marva. How is this leadership? You love your Ugg shoes and slippers. You like pumpkin spice with that as well? Ah, logic has entered here. Just let people work from home. This is ridiculous. People taking off their shoes after an hour of commute does not sound like a very hygienic practice. Yeah, this is basically the new Pizza Party Fridays. Honestly, it's just because you don't want to track dirt in, right? They're actually writing think pieces about taking off your shoes. Think pieces. Going shoeless is a trendy office perk. Should your company follow suit? A new workplace fad says padding around your office floor in fun socks and slippers is the soul of changing company cultures. You see what they did there? Ha ha ha. Got him. Now this article mostly talks about Cursor, the AI company, because they decided to make a huge change in their office. Here's an employee there, Ben Lang, and he posted a picture of their shoe racks. That's it. That's the perk. Not a raise, not a promotion, just a communal cubby here for your vans. I mean, I can smell this photo from my desk. Looks like we got some people biking to work. Nice and sweaty when they get there. Perfect. Not a single sanitary spray or wipe in sight. Now what kills me is people already do this. People have been smelling their coworkers' feet since the beginning of having cubicles way too close together. I mean, there's always one guy in the office wearing flip-flops from high school, someone walking around in socks at 2 p.m. This isn't a perk. This is just Steve from accounting being Steve. And the best part is that this shoeless trend comes back every few years. The same headlines, the same earnest tone. Take a look at this clip from December 9th, 2019. No shoes at work? Anchors discuss new workplace trend.
So Business Insider says there's a new trend in Silicon Valley. So some startups are now adopting shoeless dress codes.
Okay.
So 2 software startups created shoeless workplaces because their CEOs grew up in shoeless homes.
Fair enough.
And these habits start because usually startups are launched in a home. So for example, Gusto's office in San Francisco has cubbies for employees to actually put their shoes in while they walk around barefoot or in socks. Can you imagine this?
At least back then they added some context to it because the people that started their companies at home took their shoes off when they were at home. Jump 6 years into the future and it's like corporate said, wait, we can use that to get people back to the office. And we can also promote ourselves as servant leaders.
Tell you, in my own office, I take my shoes off and walk on the treadmill. In my office floor.
I was going to say, because I haven't been taking my shoes off in your dressing room.
In my office, no.
What about in here?
In here, I just wouldn't because
I mean, like
everybody...
right now, there are a good 40 people in here. It's just a lot of feet.
That's the difference. If everyone has private cubicles where they can manage their own space, then maybe. But if it's a giant open office where everyone's next to each other, no thanks. Then there's this other YouTube video from 5 years ago. No shoes, no problem. Workplaces across the country embrace the barefoot movement.
No problems if you don't have any shoes on. Well, at least that's the motto for some Silicon Valley startups.
Silicon Valley startups versus the title of workplaces across the country.
Allowing employees to spend the workday in their house slippers, socks, and some are even barefoot. The range of people's shower habits is too broad to allow this. I'd be all for it if people washed their feet daily and received regular pedicures. Jason says, I already do this. My boss just doesn't know.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, people do that anyway right now, right?
That's disgusting.
Do we want to look down?
See, she gets it. People do that anyway. And how is this a perk to get people to the office? Because it's not like you can't take your shoes off at home.
But also, the work floors aren't the cleanest either. I don't care where you work. There's always something on the floor. I'm good. I'll pass on that one.
Is your company ready for the shoeless revolution yet? LinkedIn has an entire news page for this. I mean, you just know companies are getting desperate when they start doing stuff like this. You can just scroll through this and there's just all these people commenting on it like this is some life-changing discovery that humanity has made. And I mean, there's This post from a CEO that goes, would wearing no shoes to return to the workplace tempt you? Can you just have your shoes off at home while you're working? Is this even a question? How are you a CEO? In my day in the city, it was nursery facilities. Then I worked in a hub that was bring your pets to work. Well, you could have your pet at home when you're working, so that's the same. And then there was pizza, beer, free Friday. Well, by not commuting, you save a whole bunch of money and you could probably just buy pizza and beer on Friday. But what would bring you back into the office full time? Can we get some decent arguments? Because I don't think there are any at this point. Absolutely, but only if they're serious about it. Most companies throw around wellness buzzwords without commitment. A genuine no-shoes policy would signal they're actually invested in employee well-being. They can really market anything as a perk these days, can't they? No shoes, that's for your wellness. We have great wellness perks here. In an era when anxiety is reaching epidemic proportions, creating a space where employees can experience greater comfort can bring big advantages for creativity and innovation, as well as encouraging them to develop more meaningful relationships at work that foster cohesion and commitment, says Anita Williams-Woolley, a professor of organizational behavior at Carnegie Mellon. Do you let all your students take their shoes off in class? Just asking questions. I mean, might as well just take off your belt, underwear. What else can you take off that reduces your anxiety? And how else could you develop more meaningful relationships by taking off your clothes and apparel? How is this even a title, luring workers back into the office with unique perks? But you can do this at home. It's like the company said, what's something we can do that costs $0, involves absolutely no policy change, and makes it look like we care? We don't need to hire a therapist or give you a raise or a stipend. We don't need to fix burnout. They just stopped enforcing the shoe rule. Boom. Wellness. It's literally the lowest effort perk imaginable. It's like everyone everywhere just discovered feet at the same time. My entire feed is the same guy kicked back in a chair with his feet up, posted over and over like it's the new iPhone reveal. The fact that companies are hyping you up, taking your shoes off, tells you everything you need to know about RTO perks right now and RTO in general. If you want people to come back to the office, maybe, just hear me out, don't make it worse than home. Would you go back to the office to be able to take your shoes off? Because you can't do that at home. Or does your office already smell like a middle schooler's locker room? Let me know down in the comments below. Leave a like if you had a laugh. Subscribe to see me call out more corporate nonsense like this. And if you have any trends like this you'd like me to showcase on the channel, you can email me, Instagram, Discord, however you'd like to do it. The links for that are all down in the description. But having said all that, I hope everyone is doing really well, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully with shoes on.